Torrance, we're the eighth largest city in LA County. In the metropolitan, 10 million is the population of LA County. We're one of 88. We're the eighth largest in population at 150,000. On pre-pandemic, on March 1st, we experienced a cyber incident, which took us completely off the grid. The only connection we had was a text message and a landline telephone system. But our server, our website, all of our applications to pay bills and operate was pretty much taken down. And then 4 days later, LA County declared a local state of emergency. And a week later, the city of Torrance declared. And in the midst of all that, our emergency operations center, the traditional brick and mortar, is located in our police department. But because of the COVID restrictions, we're able to implement a virtual emergency operations center. And I believe we're one of the early adapters of the technology, one of the few ones in probably the country, where we had a emergency virtual operations center through the Slack platform. We're able to bring our hospitals online with us, our school district. And since then, with the civil unrest, we expanded to include our hotels. We have a significant number of hotels and a shopping center, really forging that partnership.
Back in 2018, we partnered with a local company called Intelligent Systems, and we were invited to the Caucus of Smart Cities in DC to discuss us using their flood sensor system to ensure that we were able to track any type of flood, raindrops, or any type of hazards concerning that event for the city of Torrance. And so that was our first lean forward into a smart city type of mind frame. We continued with that using that same company by getting a weather sensor on top of our fire station, because whole idea is when it comes to weather in California, as you know, it varies throughout, 5 miles down the road, it could be different. And so we had a weather sensor put up, and that's another linkage that we had when it comes to actually maintaining a safety barrier around our city using technology. And then along those lines, we looked around and we found an actual seismic survey center by USGS located in our site. So we communicated with USGS, and we ended up being the very first location in the entire United States to have their sensor replaced and updated. So they came out, used us as almost like a training site for all their workers to how to replace a seismic center that feeds into the large center network here in Torrance. We continue to lean forward by utilizing technology that was almost like a force multiplier and increase the safety of our volunteers. One such technology would be haystacks, which is being ran by DHS, actually FEMA. So essentially what it does is allows you to take volunteers to use this app on their phone, and they can go out in the field and it'll feed back into the EOC or whatever your command post is. You can see where they're going, real-time tracking, and any imagery that they find that's interesting or pertinent to our situation, they can take a picture and it'll come back to the map that the entire command center is looking at. And the best thing about it is it's totally secure because it actually takes their imagery, takes their video, and takes it directly from their phone to the actual site itself without storing it on their own phone. And so we use that quite a bit for our event, Armed Forces Day Parade, and it gave me a sense of a comfort knowing that I was able to track my volunteers, ensure that whatever dangers that they were seeing, I could see that too in real time, and ensuring that I'm also increasing the training level of my volunteers, which they appreciate it. Now, fast forward to a very interesting open to 2020. We did have a cyber incident. However, though, before that, like I said, the city is very forward leaning. Prior to that, the city IT here, we're looking for an assessment to essentially see how strong we were as far as our cyber security and our network goes. So we actually reached out to DHS, CISA, and we're able to develop those relationships back and forth. And they came and did an assessment for us. And we had all the names, we had the contacts, we had the recommendations and such. So when the cyber incident did occur, it was a simple phone call, and they knew our systems, they knew our situation, they knew our strengths and weaknesses, and they were able to come in and provide instant care for the city of Torrance without having to go through the actual introduction